But what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Musa Gaming here, and today we're here with the chat in the live stream for our very first session of everything that you need to know about Rage, aka Rage 101, guys. And why are we talking about Rage in 2025 in Rise of Kingdoms? Why is Rage so important? And a couple of things. For one, because of power creep. Now, most recent commanders that were released in Rise of Kingdoms has actually had more active skill damage vectors than Rise of Kingdoms has ever seen in Rise of Kingdoms history. For example, we've seen 3,000 damage factor come from the latest commander that was released in Rise of Kingdoms called Kangam Chan. So as we kind of move away from 2025 into 2026, 2027, we're going to see this trend continue where more and more commanders are going to do stronger and stronger active skills at the end of the day. So you learning to actually manage your rage better is more important now than ever, and it will become more important as future comes our way. So that's why. That's the first reason. And then the second reason is the new mechanics that has been added to Rise of Kingdoms. V formation, Qin Shi Huang, and combo to be exact. V formation actually allows you to do the ranged combat, right? And that actually has revealed a lot of the insight that I was able to get that was not acquirable before. So V formation, rage generation is actually very, very important. And Qin Shi Huang has different rage mechanics than we had before. So that's something that is worth talking about in 2025. And combo is actually a very, very important game mechanics where you actually do proc and generate rage that you can actually generate with the Talent Tree and Horn of Fury a lot more than you were able to do before. Tenacity is like, oh, I signed up for a lecture, not that I'm complaining. Okay, so yeah, so new mechanics has been added to Rise of Kingdoms in 2025 in specific that has changed the landscape too much that I think we need to give a little bit of update on what we knew about Rage before. And that's the second reason why I'm doing this today. Now, let's start up with our Peerless Scholar preliminary quiz. How much rage do you generate per auto attack in Rise of Kingdoms, guys? How much rage do you generate per auto attack in Rise of Kingdoms? Let's start a poll here, guys. How much rage do you generate per auto in ROK? And I'm option number 1 is A 100, B 85, C 300, 130, and then D 115. Vote away, guys. Vote away. I have to pull up. See if you guys actually know the answer. We got 1 vote for 100, 1 vote for 85, 2 vote for 85. Okay, we got some smarties in the chat. I get it. Come on, guys. I'll give you guys 10 more seconds for you guys to vote. 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4. Come on, one more vote. Hey, it's 185 both tied up, guys. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's just end in a tie. So 50% of you voted for 100. 50% of you voted 85. I don't know, 85 sounds just different. And this is something that I just found out today too. Not today, but when I was making this video. Or I'm making this video right now. But the answer is actually 85, guys. Answer is 85. Now you guys might be like, oh my god, Musa is actually saying some nonsense stuff, right? No, it is true. And I'll prove it to you right now. So we did a couple of testing with ranged commanders, actually. And the first test that we did was with John, who is actually a commander that I have in my siege lineup. And then he's a little bit of a unique commander, I would say. Not gonna lie. But let's go to engineering, right? So John actually has a 15% rage gain speed bonus. So this is gonna be a little bit more complicated than the normal rage generation, but rage per turn that we can expect from John is actually 108.1. Now he generates 85 from auto attack, and then 9 extra from his talent tree, which is this one right here. Whenever this commander's troop launches any type of basic attack, it gains 9 extra rage. Right? And also, his second skill gives it 15% extra rage recovery. So, as I attacked a barbarian from far, I generated 108, 216, 324, 432, 540, 648, 756, 864, and 972. When you actually hit that 972, you actually see in your turn. No, and then 1081. When you hit that 1081 rage, you actually see it in the log that you're ready to activate use your active skill in the next turn. And then you use active skill. That's why I said skill ready on next turn. Now, this is basically how it looks like. Rage recovery speed of 15% extra, and extra rage gain, 9 extra rage gain per auto attack. And then at turn 10, he says, John John is going to activate the skill, Raven's Ring, and then he uses his active skill. Now, we actually did a separate test, separate run, I would say, where I actually attacked him from a very, very close range, where as soon as I hit him, the barbarian can actually attack you back. So in this scenario, your rage per turn is actually 125.35, where you generate 85 rage from auto attack, 9 extra rage from the talent as it did before, and 15 extra rage that you get from barbarian attacking you. That's right. The reason why we think that every auto attack in Rise of Kingdoms has generated 100 rage up until now is because in 1v1 scenario, you see the rage actually generated 100 most of the time because you're attacking the enemy enemy's attacking you back. So that's why everyone thought it was 100. So 125.35. And you guys can see that it took 8 turns for it to charge up, and then it used the active skill on the 9th turn compared to 11th turn when it was attacking from far. And you guys can see the rage generation on my estimated rage generation here, right? In turn 8, it gets the active skill ready and then uses it on the turn 9. So that's where you can see that you gain 15 extra rage per turn for each unit that is attacking you. And when we found this out during the live stream the other day, then that's why there's some of you guys actually who voted for 85 rage generation earlier, because you guys actually were part of the live stream, I'm assuming. When we found this out, I actually went and tested out in a different way, where I had no equipment, no talent, with 2 different tests. One, test A, I have Pyrus, who has 0 talent and 0 equipment equipped. So I don't see any of those extra 9 rage generated from the talent tree or anything like that, or 15% extra, right? So I had Pyrus and Richard. I had Richard attack the barbarian first, so that barbarian's actually attacking Richard instead of Pyrus. And I actually had Pyrus attack barbarian while the barbarian is not attacking you. And then test B, I just went 1v1 against the barbarian to see if my theory that I see here is actually correct. And it turns out, test A, when when the Richard was actually tanking, I used the active skill of my Pyrus on the 12th turn, which seems like is actually in line with 85 rage generated per turns. Now, when it was attacking each other, when Barbarian was actually attacking it back to generate 15 extra rage, it actually used the active skill on the 10th turn. So it looks like the 85 rage per turn and 100 rage per turn might still be accurate for both scenarios as we hypothesized previously. Now, there is one thing though that we did not see, which is in these siege units, siege reports, we had one turn that they took to have the quote-unquote skill ready until they use an active skill. And then that was actually not here when we first saw the Pyrus. I think it might be because of the difference between the V formation march and a non-V formation march. But the point is that when you're getting attacked by each march, you're generating 15 extra rage is basically what we could conclude from this test and the test we did before. So important findings, you gain 65 rage per attack, 15 rage from march attacking you. So 100 rage per turn is only plausible in a 1v1 duel formation, a duel scenario. So if you're chasing an enemy, and if the enemy's not targeting you, you see sometimes when you're actually chasing an enemy, the enemy's actually running away from you, your rage generation will actually be slower, precisely 15 rage per second, 15 rage per turn, slower than if you're going 1v1 against that march. So that's the important finding that you can actually see. And other scenarios that this could actually be worked is if you're ever wondering, hey, like, how much rage do I get per each march attacking and swarming my rally? Well, 15 rage. If you have 8 people targeting you, then you'll generate 150 extra rage. Wait, hold on. Am I right? No. 120 extra rage, yeah. 8 people targeting you, then you'll generate 120 extra rage, right? And along with the fact that you're going 1v1 against the rally or garrison, well, guess what? You're raging capturing at that point. If 8 marches are actually attacking and swarming you at the same time. So yeah, this finding is very important, I think, for most people in correcting the general consensus that you generate 100 rage per turn whenever you're attacking someone. And that's why siege marches will generate rages slower when they're attacking from far, because they're not generating that extra 15 rage, but instead, because the other person, the march that is actually getting targeted, is not attacking you back, is not targeting you back, to be exact, even if they're doing damage with counterattack damage. So that's what I found from those testings that I've done about raging. Now, a couple other things that I do want to point out in this Rage 101 situation, though. Do combo pairs need horn? I think a lot of you have asked me this because, for one, Arthur and Achilles does a lot of combo damage, right? And it seems like sometimes that when you do so many combo damage, it does kind of make it seem like maybe horn is an overkill for those pairings, because you generate so much rage just from the talent trees, right? There's 2 extra talent trees, 2 talent points that actually generates 9 rage per each combo attack that they do. But in reality, horn actually is a must for combo commanders, especially when paired up with butterfly effect. And the reason for this is simple, is because the only turn that will almost guarantee overrage for those pairings are the turns that Arthur and Achilles uses their active skill, right? And hit so many different targets that they're actually attacking, that the 50% proc chance for the horn with the butterfly effect would guarantee to hit so many targets and overrage at the same time. But you still got to build up the rage for you to use those active skill at the end of the day, and that's when the value of the horn actually does come into play, right? For you to actually get your first active skill and the secondary of commander's active skill cycle faster than other people, right? So that's why horn is a must for combo pairing. And that's it. There's nothing else beyond this. Horn is a must. And for all the other turns, like I said, it is near impossible for Arthur Achilles to overrage, and rather it's just most effective on combo commanders because for one, your butterfly effect would actually make your proc go 20% more, and two, you're doing extra combo attacks with Arthur's expertise, so you're actually you'll be able to actually proc this more than 2 times in an auto attacking turn too. So yeah, it is a must-have for horn is a must-have for combo attack pairing, in my opinion. What do you think about the hilt? Hilt is a different topic, but based on what I've seen from Davos statistics, he ran some simulation. He ran like 1,000-something simulation. Hilt, unfortunately, is bad for 2 reasons. For one, the duration is only 5 seconds, right? That means that the active skill of the first skill cycle and the second skill cycle is almost guaranteed to not connect. So even if you proc your hilt to 100%, it's not going to actually carry out that damage buff to the next skill cycle, right? And when that is the case, ring is always the better option. Now, I told you that horn is a must for combo damage commanders, right? So if you're going to be a combo damage commander, if you're going to be building a combo damage commander pairing, I'll say ring and horn is still the best option, in my opinion. Dang, I made hilt and wanted drums with it on Arthur Achilles. Drums is a really good option for Arthur Achilles, though. But yeah, you can run hilt and drum, but I'm just saying that it's just not as good as ring and horn. Ring and horn is still the best, and it's not beatable by hilt because it does not connect from the one skill cycle to another skill cycle. Oh, okay, and just for reference, and just to add to this, why is it important for you to actually get your skill cycle faster? Because the damage output uplift, the damage per turn uplift that you get from using your active skill faster is way better by simply just improving 1 turn in average for a skill cycle. For example, if you're doing 2,000 damage factor in a 10-turn skill cycle, you're doing practically 200 damage factor per turn, right? But if you are able to actually do this in 9 seconds, you're doing 222.22 damage factor per turn, which is 11% uplift. Don't look at the numbers. Look at the uplift numbers. It's 11% better. And guess what? If you use your horn and you were able to reduce the turn by 2 times in average, guess what? The damage uplift is actually 25% better than what you had when you didn't have a horn. There's no accessories that can actually uplift your damage output by 11% or 25%. And that's why horn and ring is crucial and is irreplaceable, especially horn. Ring, maybe in the future, but horn is not replaceable in any commander, almost, except for what we're about to talk about in Xin Shi Huang later. And one other thing, support tree with overreach. So I know the general consensus in the community is that support tree should not be getting the Rejuvenate 3 points because the current rage cap per turn is actually 220, right? And that made a total sense, guys. That made a total sense because previously we thought people were generating 100 rage per turn, 18 extra from the talent point. Most I think archers, cavalry, infantry all have rage generating talent point on their main troop type, as well as the support tree, right? So 18 extra rage per auto attack, and then 150 extra rage that you get from hitting the third point into the Rejuvenate, right? So in such case, you're wasting 48 of the rage and gaining 2 extra. You're gaining 2 extra rage in average, right? For hitting that, because if you actually hit it, if you actually have 2 points into Rejuvenate, you're going to generate 218 rage instead of 268 rage, right? You're wasting 48 rage of that, right? Which made total sense. But now, in cases that the enemy's not attacking you and not targeting you, which I think is actually a lot of the times, now that we know that our auto attack only generates 85 rage instead of 100 rage, if you do the calculation, you're wasting 33 rage from the Rejuvenate per active skill versus 48, and you're getting 17 extra rage. And I don't know about you, but if there is a single point that you can actually put up in your talent tree that could generate 17 rage per skill cycle, actually 34 extra rage per skill cycle, because you're going to be using active skill of the primary target, a primary commander, and the secondary commander per skill cycle, would you invest in it? And I think it would actually get up to preferences at that point. But personally speaking, I would actually prefer having that extra 17 to 34 extra rage possibility built in for a single point invested in support tree. So my personal opinion is that it is worth, maybe it is worth, for us to get 3 points into Rejuvenate instead of having 2 points into Rejuvenate, is my opinion. Now, moving on to Qin Shi Huang, guys. Moving on to Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang, the rage spend bar mechanics. So as you guys might or might not know, Qin Shi Huang has a unique rage mechanics. Yo, thank you. Thank you, Red Light ENT. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the super chat. 19.99. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this information is helpful for you and everyone else who's watching this, as well as those people who are going to be watching it in the YouTube video. I was not expecting a super chat of $20 while I'm in mid lecture, but thank you so much, Redline. I'll go ahead and do more thanks after the stream, after this lecture section. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Real Redline and ENT. Really appreciate it, man. And give a big shout out, everyone, to Redline and ENT. But let's go ahead and talk about Qin Shi Huang again. So Qin Shi Huang has a unique rage mechanics. So if Qin Shi Huang is used as primary commander, now Qin Shi Huang is weird in a way that Qin Shi Huang actually works differently if he's used as a primary commander versus a secondary commander. Now, if Qin Shi Huang is used as a primary commander, your quote-unquote rage bar becomes a rage spend bar, which triggers the active skill upon spending 1,000 rage. And this is evident when you go to his kit and it says rage consume 1,000 instead of rage 1,000 for other commanders, right? Yeah, rage requirement 1,000. So yeah, so this rage bar is actually rage spent bar instead of being a rage bar. And Qin Shi Huang actually has hidden rage bar that is actually not shown on this bar right here, that where we usually check our rage. Qin Shi Huang actually has a separate rage bar that is kind of like a gas that we don't see in his thing to use his skill set. And all of his skill set, I think, yeah, the second skill, Iron Pierces Bronze, this uses rage, but this is actually not using the rage consume, but this is actually using the hidden rage bar that Qin Shi Huang has. But Qin Shi Huang's secondary commander actually does not use the hidden rage bar, quote unquote, but it actually uses the active skill 1 turn after Qin Shi Huang's active skill, regardless of the rage, right? If you actually send out Qin Shi Huang to a field, where am I? Yeah, let's go ahead and send Qin Shi Huang right now. And regardless of the amount of rage that he has in the backline that we don't see whatsoever, after Qin Shi Huang uses his first active skill, it takes a one turn of break, and then it uses a second turn to basically use the active skill of the secondary commander no matter how much rage that you have in the rage bar. And let's just go ahead and recall this back and just check the report. Let's go to battle log. You guys can see that after using Qin Shi Huang's skill, 1 turn, and then use the active skill of Shazar, right? Now, what this does is a weird situation where if you use Qin Shi Huang as secondary, it creates a weird problem. Just go ahead and send out Po Chu Bing and Qin Shi Huang. Hopefully it doesn't kill the barb before it actually uses active skill. Because Qin Shi Huang's secondary skills actually uses the active uses a rage, right? So if you go attack the targets, the rage generation of Po Chu Bing is actually a lot slower because Qin Shi Huang is using the active skill. You see that it's like stuck there because Qin Shi Huang using so much rage in the backline. And then this rage generation is a lot slower. And you see that it's losing rage, right? So that's how Qin Shi Huang works. So if you go to the next slide here. So if Qin Shi Huang is used as a secondary commander, your rage bar becomes regular rage bar, which makes it impossible to trigger an active skill as Qin Shi Huang's kit uses rage. Now, you guys have seen that my Po Chu Bing is generating enough rage from the fact that he has the critted horn. And the fact that Po Chu Bing actually has less rage requirement. Yeah, 150 less rage requirement. So he can actually use his active skill. But if you use YSG as primary and then uses Qin Shi Huang as secondary, well, you'll see that he's not going to be able to use active skill almost for forever, right? So, which makes it impossible to trigger the active skill, or at the very least, very inefficient for you to use the active skill, as Qin Shi Huang's kit is continuously using the rage. So, Qin Shi Huang uses the active skill as normal, but primary commander and almost never uses the active skill thanks to rage spent by Qin Shi Huang. So you should always use Qin Shi Huang as primary. Yo, Juan Awa, welcome. I don't know if I said your name right, but welcome. Thank you for the subscribe. Yeah, so that's why you have to use Qin Shi Huang as primary instead of secondary. Now, another thing that I did talk about a little bit earlier. Do Swarmed, Rally, or Garrison need Horn? And the answer is yes, you definitely do. If you're using Attila Subutai Rally, a lot of times you might be feeling like, okay, well, there's so many Swarmers that are attacking my city and Rally. And like, do I really need to put a Horn in there? And let's just do the simple math. In a Rally or Garrison situation, you're generating 100 rage minimum as both Rally or Garrison is targeting each other, right? Rally's attacking you, the Garrison is attacking you back. So both Rally or Garrison perspective, you're generating 100 rage requirement minimum. Now, given that 15 rage is generated per Swarmer, you need 8 Swarmers on your Rally or Garrison consistently for you to overrage. So in 99% of the time, Horn is still a must because you're not going to overrage unless you're getting city swarmed like crazy. And those, even if your city is getting swarmed, if the rally's hitting for the first, I don't know, 3 skill cycle, it's still worth to get the rage, get the Horn on your Garrison, even in your city Garrison situation. But in a flag rally situation, in a Alliance Center Fortress rally situation, I think Horn is still a must for most cases for rally and garrisons, because the amount of rage that you generate per each march attacking you is so small. It's 15 rage, and you need 8 swarmers on your rally or on your garrison for them to be consistently alive, by the way. Because like even if they get counterattacked to death, then that's no longer the possibility, right? So you need 8 swarmers consistently on your march for you to overrage every turn. So Horn is still a must for Rally or Garrison in most cases. And yeah, whew, that was about it in terms of my Rage 101 class, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was 33 minutes long. I might fast forward the edited footage by 10% to make that 30 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, big shout out to everyone who has joined in the chat. There's about 22 people watching also at the same time. Big shout out to Redline and ENT for a great super chat of $20. Very generous super chat of $20. Really appreciate it, guys. Hope this was helpful for you. And I learned a lot personally when I was making this video. Like, yeah, I didn't even know that we generated 85 rage per auto attack. And this was only possible because I actually did the testing with V formation, right? So yeah, hope this was really helpful for you guys. And hopefully when you're in a rally or when you're in a field situation, things that you learned here today might come in and help you guys in your everyday Rise of Kingdoms fighting situations. And that will make me really, really happy, guys. But Kirk Peralta, you said, did I miss a lot of it in the class? I left earlier, then just came back. No worries, man. I'm going to post this in an edited form into my channel as a video. So you can always check back at that video. That's going to be posted most likely either today, later today, or tomorrow. So don't worry if you missed it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and post this video as soon as possible. And I don't really need much editing, to be honest. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and close out the recording. I'm going to stay on the live stream, so don't leave, those of you who are on the live stream. Thank you guys so much. And as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.